Hello and welcome to Pokemon Land. My name is TD and today we'll be unboxing another box of Pokemon cards I sent to Professional Sports Authority about 18 months ago, and I just got them back and I want to see what grades we got. They ship them to in this nice box, protected well from shipping, any damage, and let's see what grades I got. We are looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Blaine's Charizard, a Holo First Edition card, the number 2. We are looking at the front surface of this card. The holographics look fantastic. There's no scratches or damage to them. Our surface looks clean. Looking at our corners and our edges, they look really clean and nice. Looking at our centering, I think it's within spec. And looking at the back of this card, I look at the centering and it looks within spec from top to bottom and side to side. Our graphics look nice and vibrant and clean. Looking at our edges, they're nice and clean. Going to all of our corners, our upper right corner has some damage, and that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. That's pretty darn good for that Charizard, and that's a valuable card now. The card you're reviewing is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Brock's Dugtrio, a first edition number 22 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, I think the graphics are nice and clean. I don't see any issues there. Our centering looks within spec from top to bottom and side to side. Our corners and our edges have no damage that I can find. As we continue to the back, you can see that the back of this card looks really good. I don't see any issues with it on the surface. Our centering looks really good, really nice for the back of a card. Getting to our edges, they're nice and clean, but as we get to our corners, the upper right and lower left and possibly the lower right have some damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. Pretty good for an old Dugtrio. This card is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Erika's Venusaur, a Holo First Edition number 4 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, you can see that it's nice and clean. I don't see any issues with the holographics or the front. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, looks really good from side to side. I think it might be slightly out of spec to the right. And looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're really clean. Looking at the back of the card, I don't see any damage to the surface of the card or any problems there. Our centering looks pretty good, slightly to the left, but I think that's probably within tolerance. Getting to our edges and our corners, both upper corners have a speck of damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9 for this old Venusaur. Pretty good for a Holo. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Pinsir, a first edition number 24 card. Looking at this Pinsir, I really like the graphics on it. The front surface looks good. Our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues on them. Our centering, I think, is well within spec on the front of this card. Turning this card over, you can look at this back of the card and see that the centering looks really good. I don't see any issues there. Our surface, main surface of the card looks really clean and well. I don't see any problems. Finally, getting to our edges are good. Getting to our corners, the upper right has some damage that I can see really well, and there's some damage in the lower lower left corner. And with that being said, our grade is going to be a Mint 9. That's pretty good. I thought that corner damage was going to take us down a little bit more. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Machamp, a Holo First Edition card, the number 6. As we look at the front surface of this card, you can see that the graphics have no problems. I don't see any issues with the holographic. Our centering looks pretty good, except from side to side. It looks like it might be out of spec to the right. That'll take us out of a 10 range. Looking at our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues there. There is some bleed through on the yellow part though. As I turn the card over and look at the back, I don't see any issues with the surface of the card or the graphics. Looking at the edges and the corners, I think they're pretty good. There might be a slight damage on the upper right. Looking at our centering, it looks to the left, probably out of spec, and I think that's going to affect our grade. And our grade will be a mint 9. That's pretty good with the centering being off like that. Let me have you look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Muck, a first edition number 26 card. Looking at this card, you can see that the graphics look really clean and crisp, very vibrant. Our centering looks pretty good from side to side and top to bottom. I don't see any problems there. Our edges are nice and crisp, and so are our corners. Looking at the back of this card, I think it looks as good as the front. I don't see any issues like I did at the front. Our edges and our corners are crisp and clean, and that's usually the thing that takes us out. Our centering is within spec, and our surface is very clean and crisp. And we're going to get a grade of Gym Mint 10 for the old Koga's Muck. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I will review a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Giovanni's Persian, a Holo First Edition number 8 card. Looking at the front of this card, you can see it looks really good. The holographics under the light are showing off. Our centering looks pretty good from top to bottom and side to side. I think that's definitely within spec. Our edges and our corners look pretty good. I don't see any problems there. Flipping the card to the back side, you can see that it looks really clean. I don't see any issues with the graphics. Our centering looks pretty good from all sides. Looking at our corners and our edges, I don't see any problems there. Maybe some slight damage on the upper right, but it's really hard to see. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9 for the Persian. Man, those 9s keep it coming. The card I am looking at is a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Lieutenant Surge's Jolteon, a first edition number 28 card. Jolteon looks really good and fierce here in the picture. I love the lightning bolts going off from it. This whole front surface looks great. Our edges and our corners look nice and clean and crisp, and our centering I think is within spec. As we take a look at the back of the card, you can see that the surface looks really clean. I don't see any issues there. Our centering looks really nice. I think it's way within spec, probably good enough for front specs. Looking at our corners and our edges, our upper right and lower left and lower right all have some slight damage. Actually, taking a look, all 4 corners have some damage, and that's going to drop our grade to a near mint 8. With all that corner damage, that's understandable. I'm going to review a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Koga's Ditto, a Holo First Edition, the number 10 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, it looks really nice and clean. I don't see any issues. The holographics look really good. You can see some of it in the video here, shining off the light. Our centering looks pretty good from left to right and top to bottom, and our edges and our corners, I don't see any issues. As we take a look at the back, you can see that the surface looks nice and clean. There's no problems with the graphics. Our centering looks within spec. I don't see any issues there. Maybe a little to the left, but I think it's within spec. Our edges and our corners look really pretty good, except for the upper left corner does have some slight damage. And that's going to give us a good grade of Mint 9 for the old Ditto. Hey, Ditto did me good this time. For your viewing pleasure, a 2000 Pokemon Gym Challenge Sabrina's Golduck, a first edition number 30 card. Looking at Golduck here, the surface looks really good. I don't see any issues there. Our centering looks good from top to bottom and side to side. And looking at our corners and our edges, there's a slight damage to the lower left corner. As we turn this card over and look at the back, I don't see any problems with the surface of the card. It looks really nice. Looking at our centering, I think it looks good. It's actually really good. And looking at our corners and our edges are clean, but we do have some damage to both right corners. And we're going to get a grade of near mint 8. Wow, that's pretty good. I thought we'd at least drop to a 7 or 6 with that damage on that front corner. Wow.